Lawin Media Network.
Bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
Business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with Lawin Media Network.
Hello, good evening Texas, good evening USA, and magandang umaga sa inyong lahat dyan sa ating bansang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po again for always watching Be Bold Why Not. You're watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, stream.lawin.live, and twitch.tv. And of course, our show is brought to you by Lawin Media Network. Yes, it's our episode 6 of season 5 of Be Bold Why Not. And as we always do in the show, we would like to recognize our viewers. We would love to encourage them to participate. And tonight, it's a really great episode. Okay, episode 4. Let me correct that. Yeah, I'm moving forward so fast because I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. As our theme for the season, it's legendary speaker's journey, right? So we have another great guest tonight. But before that, I would like us for us to see the mechanics of the game as we always do in the show.
How to join the game. 1. Watch the live show and listen to the conversation. 2. Participate and share your experiences on the topic during the live show. 3. Type your thoughts or experience via comment section. 4. All participants are eligible to win a prize. 5. The more you comment, the greater your chances of winning. 6. We will use Wheel of
There you go. So to all our viewers, again, the more you comment, the more chances of you winning a special prize at the end of the show. But the most important thing really from this show is the lesson that you're going to get out of it, the inspiration that you're going to get out of it, that you can apply in your daily lives and that can help you become a better version of you. I think that's what really counts most. Yes, we have this game to kind of, get you perked up and hyped, but always remember the lessons that we get out of this. So anyhow, another guest tonight is a very special person. As I've shared before, I've attended this legendary speakers training in Florida, and other than learning to craft your story or share your story boldly from that training, I think the most important thing that I got out of that training is really meeting people, making that connection. And I just love it. I love sharing my story. I love sharing time and precious moments with people that we just met. And that's the most important thing too, because in this life, relationships are very important. So I'm very blessed to have a special guest whom I salute so much because as we all know, teachers are our heroes in society. So this special person is not only a speaker, but she is a teacher. Yes, and she has been teaching, like she's starting her 32nd year of teaching this year. Wow, that is amazing. That shows how much passion she has for teaching. And Again, she is also a speaker. She is married. She has, let me just read a little bit of her bio here. She's been married for 29 years. She has two beautiful daughters and a son. And she has received a lot of accolades as a teacher. She has been awarded, she has been awarded, I'm just going to mention a few because we want to hear it from her. But she has been awarded as Innovator of the Year for TCTA in 2012. She is a bilingual teacher, and there's a lot more. I just can't wait for her to just share us her story. So, ladies and gentlemen, to all our beautiful people and beautiful viewers out there, let's welcome our very, very special guest. I can't wait to talk to her and have a wonderful discussion and conversation with her on the show. Miss Corina Flores. Let's get her in. There she is. Hi, Corina.
Hello.
Hi. I know you're not feeling, you're a little bit under the weather, but I just really appreciate you for still showing up and boldly taking this, moment to share your beautiful story. I'm very sure that a lot of our viewers will be inspired by your story. So let us get to know Corina Flores. Tell us where you're from. I'm so excited because I know I lived in West Texas for about 9 years before moving here. But tell us where you're from, Corina.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I am from West Texas. I grew up in Andrews, Texas, a little small town,
Mm-hmm.
with a mom who was a single mom and two siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we were we were low income family. Mother did not speak English, and so I had to learn how to interpret what mother needed. So I learned English faster, but English is my second language. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and in fourth grade, a very special teacher, she touched my heart because she believed in me. And I always thought when I grow up, I want to do that for other children. I want to
Mm-hmm.
encourage and inspire. We don't like to feel when someone makes us feel less than or doesn't appreciate the differences you have or that you bring to the classroom. So I wanted to make sure that I make a difference.
Wow. So as early as fourth grade, you already knew that you were going to become a teacher.
Yes. And probably even earlier than that, when I was 4 years old in El Paso, Texas, there was a teacher in my preschool. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I am the first group back in 1976 in El Paso who entered the Head Start program, which was a low income program to have school for kids. And in that classroom was a teacher. To me, she looked like Linda Carter. Do you know who Linda Carter
Uh-huh.
is?
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
Woman, yeah. So to me, she looked like her, and
Uh-huh.
she wore glasses, and she had long, beautiful black hair. She had colored eyes. I don't remember what color, but I know they were colored eyes, and she
Uh-huh.
wore glasses. And her name was Miss Flores.
Wow. Is that what a coincidence? But you know what? I don't believe in coincidences. I think everything works together for good. And
So
what
I
a
grew up
what
to be a teacher with as Miss Flores, and I wore glasses too. I do not look like Linda Carter, but
yeah, well, you may look like who's the new Wonder Woman right now, right? Anyhow, it's so funny because isn't it that when we are younger, I remember when I was young too, we like to play teacher, right? We like
yes.
to play teacher. So that's one, being a teacher or playing as a teacher, role playing as a teacher is one of those things that we enjoy doing while we are young. So, did you used to play role play as a teacher when you
I
were
actually
little?
always was the teacher when I played with my siblings or my cousins. I would tell them, okay, let's play school, but I'm the teacher.
So, you always volunteered to be the teacher when you, okay. Wow, that is so cool. Miss Flores, and now you're Mrs. Flores. So you're the person that you looked up to as young as 4 years old. You already had that mindset. That is
With
impressive.
you saying that, listen how scary that is. You say as
Yeah.
young as you were 4 years old. So if we have children in schools and we're not careful how we
Mm-hmm.
impact them as that young of age, we could either make or break the child to want to
Mm-hmm.
keep growing and going to school, to dream to be somebody, to believe that they can do it. Children learn at a very young age. Teaching is not to be taken lightly because
Mm-hmm.
we're responsible for little brains, lots of
Yes,
little brains and how they decide their future. It's
that's
important.
yes. So, this is very interesting. As again, I said we don't have a script. So I'm just going by what we talk about. So now that comes to mind Freud's theory. Do you believe in that? And can you explain it a little bit further as a teacher? Because I'm not a teacher, but it just came into my mind about Freud's theory that before 5 years old, you actually form your personality. What can you say about that?
Yes, and we can't change a person, but we can teach them the the etiquette or responsibility of how life is. But because some of these children come unfortunately with maybe not so positive backgrounds, so
Mm-hmm.
we have to first of all build that relationship that the classroom they're in is safe, build
Mm-hmm.
that relationship that the students know that you genuinely care,
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't care, they don't care, and then you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to get anywhere. And so with that being said, even if a child struggles, if they hear it enough that they can, they will.
Mm-hmm.
But if they hear several times that they can't, then they won't. They have
Mm-hmm.
failed before they even try. So I always try and make sure we have positive affirmations and instill good words into the children, the students, so they, have at least one person in their ring during the days telling them that they can do this. I've
Mm-hmm.
had students from the past call me or contact me and tell me, Miss, I'm graduating, or I'm doing this, or I have my business or something. And they're like, thank you for believing in me, you
Mm-hmm.
know, when maybe nobody else would, or maybe when it was difficult for them, or maybe they were categorized as a troublesome child, but yet now as an adult, they're doing great. But so
Mm-hmm.
it really feels nice.
Yeah. So
But to
I
sum
think that, yeah, go ahead.
to
Yes.
summarize your Sigmund Freud theory, yes, as children are very small, I always tell my parents, your words are valuable. They are very powerful. Whether you'd say good or bad things to your child, they will impact their lives. So, how do we want to impact our children, positively or negatively?
Mm-hmm.
In my Hispanic culture, unfortunately, our parents or the past, they would tell us, oh, you're just useless. You could never get anything right. Well, guess what? You stop believing in yourself and you never get anything right. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to hear positive things. Yes, you can. You can do this. Believe in yourself. Act like you already got what you wanted and you'll get it eventually.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You know what? We can totally relate because our cultures are kind of similar. You know how parents are very influential in like they always tell us, "Oh, when you grow up, we want you to be this and that." And it seems like they control, right? Do we have I grew up from a very strict father too. And but of course we know that they only want the best for us, but sometimes they don't know how to express it in the right way. Anyway, we'll talk more about that, Karina, because I can't believe it. We're done with first 15 minutes. So we're going to have to go on our first break. And when we come back, we will continue with our wonderful conversation. So I'll
Yes.
see you in a bit. back and let's read some of the comments before we continue our conversation with Karina here. So let's see our comments here from Arceli Estarija. Hello, good morning, Philippines. Good evening, Texas. Watching from Pozorubio. Yes, thank you, Arceli. And then Daisel Miral Siaton. Hello, Mom MJ. Good evening. Good evening to you as well. And we have Recto Julius. Good evening, Ma'am MJ, watching from Pangasinan. Wow, thank you so much. We have Chua Jovelin. Good morning, Ma'am MJ. I'm looking forward for today's guest. Yes, thank you. Yes. And then we have Rose Taruk Miranda. Good evening po, Ma'am MJ, watching from Pampanga. Yes, thank you. And from Chua Jovelin, welcome, Ma'am Corina. Yes, thank you. And then we have John Jeric Arcangel. Good evening po, Ma'am MJ, watching from Pampanga. Yes, we have new viewers here. And then we have Iris Dioso. Good evening po, Ma'am MJ, watching from Mindoro. Wow, thank you. We have new viewers. I'm so excited. And then Chua Jovelin says, wow, Mrs. Corina, must have been nice to know what you want to do in life at an early age and got the privilege to pursue it. Yes, what a wonderful comment. And then we have Geraldine Garcia. Hello, Mom MJ and Mom Corina, watching from Villasis, Pangasinan. Wow. And of course, another comment from Jovelyn Chua. Perfectly said, Mrs. Corina. If only all educators out there have the same mentality as yours. Great. Yes, yes. Wow, that's amazing. So, my next question to you, Karina, is I know with becoming a teacher, communication is very important, right? Because I mean, it's a must. If you cannot communicate well, your students won't be able to understand and it can affect their learning and everything. So, my question to you is why do you think speaking is one of the most feared skill like in general? Why do you think so?
I think because we're not used to public speaking enough. I know that sounds crazy, but if you think about it, in this technology world, it's easier to get on all of the platforms, not like this one where we're actually conversing and seeing each other, but
Mhm,
platforms where you're just texting and
mhm,
communicating via email, via text, via Snapchat, whatever else you have out there. But people, students, they fear it. I took public speaking in high school. I never
mhm,
had, I also, everybody's born, I think, with a that ability, whether you're comfortable or not, but you can grow and you can get stronger
mhm,
and get out of that comfort zone if that's not something that comes to you naturally. My mother
mhm.
said when I was a little girl, I never knew a stranger. I would talk to anybody, even to a rock. I would just
Uh-huh.
talk to anybody. And
Yes.
but I know my children, my personal children, they're all different and they don't like public speaking. You know,
Uh-huh.
that is very scary. I think if we practiced enough with the students while they're growing up, it wouldn't
Mhm,
be so scary when they get to college years and as adults.
mhm,
For 19 years, I worked at a technology and communication school. So
mhm,
the students since kindergarten, they practiced doing interviews, talking to people. We'd go around the school and we'd have them teach them how to speak, even videotaping, recording. And so our goal is when they graduate from that elementary school and go on to junior high, it's not so scary, the technology world that we live in and that it expects you to public speak, that's if they can't have strong communication skills, that could either make or break in a job interview.
mhm.
They may
That's
look at
very
that.
true.
So
Yeah.
speaking is kind of scary. We're not used to it. We want to hide. We want to
Uh-huh.
hide behind something.
Yes, that's right. I know. I mean, that's just strange because speaking or public speaking is a life skill that we use every day. And that whether or not you're going through an interview for a job or you're talking to your teacher or you're talking to your friends, we all need to. able to express ourselves. So you're right, we don't practice enough. I think in my case, I don't know what I grew up in public speaking. But my thing is, because like as early as I was 7 years old, I was already speaking in like in front of the whole school. Like, that was my first experience. And I grew up until I graduated from college. But my thing is, I'm okay speaking like on stages or in front of people, but you know what my weakness is? Approaching people. Which you're not scared to talk to anybody, right? To me that's my weakness. Like I'm not good at approaching people, just like initiating a conversation. So my strength in public speaking, I can talk like on stage, even if, say, for example, we just met or we go to a seminar, and like if they would ask for people to volunteer to speak, I would. But I cannot initiate a conversation to the next person. So it's like that's like really like ironical, right? But how do you think can we actually overcome this fear? Like what can you advise me? Now I'm getting like a free advice from you. What can you advise me to overcome that? I mean, even now I'm 53 years old and I still have that. Like I'm not sure why. I just don't know why. But what can you advise me, Corina?
Well, you're a nurse too, so you have to
Yeah.
speak to people every day.
Hmm.
How your patients are feeling, how are they doing today? Do you need anything? Or is that just part of your norm that it's okay?
Yeah, I mean that I have no problem. But like a stranger, you know how people are like
Smile,
even to
start by
strange.
smiling. They'll think you're crazy.
That's right. That's a great advice because I think once you have that connection, even just with a gesture of smile, I think that will open up, right? That will open up like the
When you smiled
communication.
to me and we ran into each other and you were smiling to me, I'd say, "Hey, good morning." So you
Yes,
already made that connection without verbalizing, and then you would start talking. So
yes, yes.
that's your first move.
Yeah.
Smile.
Okay. I know. Actually I'm becoming better. I think I have to, because in this line of work, although I'm a nurse, it comes natural to me to like talking to my patients and like empathizing with them. It just comes so naturally. It's approaching strangers or trying to, because in our business we want to also become like speakers out there that will be able to, right, go out there and make this like as a business. So I need that. So thank you for that advice. Now, my other question to you is, other than becoming a teacher, did you have anything that you really dreamed of ever since, you can remember, as far as, when you were growing up? Was there anything
Well,
else that you wanted to do?
when I was growing up, and probably the my senior year in high school and college years, I've always dreamed of becoming a public speaker. I haven't gone to TEDx yet to
Mhm.
speak, but I that's been my lifelong dream, is to share with others my story and to encourage them and show them that even when it seems impossible, there is a way.
Mhm.
And this is, well, I have a few minutes. So this is where
Oh,
I'll
we
get
have a lot
started.
of time. So, yeah.
Okay.
Go
So, to with that being said, I don't know if some of you are familiar what cotton fields are. I think in
Mhm.
Lubbock, around Lubbock, there's a lot of
Yes.
fields that grow the cottons. And then when I grew up, I used to work cleaning them and making sure we took out all of the weeds, all the bad things that would prevent the plant from growing. So I
Mhm.
did that for a long time. But and I would do that to help my mother so we would have money to buy school clothes for the following year. She didn't have a husband, so she had three daughters that she had to
Mhm.
buy their clothes for. So, with that being said, I also was a waitress at a country club.
Wow.
So, I
Mhm.
worked at a country club um, I would go in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I would get out till 10:30 at night. So when I would go to the cotton fields, I'd leave around, depending, 5:30 or 6. We had to be there when the sun came up. We had to be there. And when we were there, an owner went to pay us, and he went to pay us on a Friday. And so back then we have all of our hair pulled up,
Uh-huh.
and we have a cap and some sunglasses, and then these shirts that would cover you, protect you from the sun. And
Mhm.
when I got there, everybody ran to go get their money, and I just walked. I was the
Uh-huh.
last one to go get my money. And when I got there, I took off my cap and my glasses, and the gentleman says, "Karina, what are you doing here?" And I
Uh-huh.
said, "Well," said, "check this out. I want to lose weight. I get up early and I have time to go in and meditate, talk to God, exercise, save gym fees, and you're going to pay me still for it. So hand over my money." So he had to pay me, but instead of thinking negative, I thought,
Yeah.
what am I getting out of this? I get to
Mhm.
save gym fees. I get to go exercise, by cleaning the cotton fields, and spend some nice private time with God, intimate time. And then at the end, I get paid for it.
Mhm. Yeah.
I could have been negative and said, why don't I have a dad that can provide for me? Why can't my mother do more for me? Why do I have to work? Why can't
Mhm.
I be like all my other friends? Why? No. I
Yeah.
just thanked God for the opportunity and took advantage, and earned extra money. And after I left from the cotton fields, I would go straight home, take a shower, and go to the country club and work all night.
Yeah. Wow. So you help provide for your family at that age.
Growing up.
You,
Mhm.
you know what,
I was
Karina?
9 years old when I started. 9 years
Wow.
old when I started, and they didn't have rules here in Texas, probably the whole United States.
Uh-huh.
They didn't have rules. A child could be paid just like an adult. So the more kids you had out there working, the family would earn more money. But my mom only had me because my baby sister was too small, and the other one would take care of the little one. So it was just me and my mom.
Wow. So, other than becoming a teacher, early on, you helped provide for your family because of the situations that you had growing up. Karina, I can totally relate. You know what? I came from a very poor family too, in the Philippines. So, the things that I used to do, I just want to share it too. The things that I used to do to help bring money to the family, we had this so-called, like, we have neighbors that, because we didn't have refrigerator, we didn't have anything, we didn't even have television. So we were watching at our neighbors' television. So but we have neighbors that have refrigerators, and they would make this so-called ice candies, like, the ice that's mixed with
Mhm.
some flavor or something like that. And then my siblings and I would go to them, and we would sell their ice candies, like going around our neighborhood, our town, our, we call them barangay, the little small communities in our place. That was one of the ways. And then we also have this so-called, like, how tobacco, like we have neighbors too that have businesses in tobacco, like the fresh tobacco leaves before they burn them. So you have to actually put them in a stick. So my siblings and I would also do that, and we would get paid. And when the tobacco is already dried, there are also businesses that you have to classify, like you have to separate the tobaccos that are still kind of green or already like yellow. So we got paid for that. So you know what? I can relate, because early on, when I was in elementary school, we also did that to bring money to the family because we were poor. So with that being said, though, I believe that whatever those things that we went through actually made us this what person that we are now. Without those, I mean, we wouldn't be here. So we learned hard work, resilience, perseverance, you name it, all the values that made us who we are. But anyway, we have to go another break so we can I know, and we're going on another break, and then when we come back, we will continue with our conversation. All right, see you all in a bit.
Tune into Legal Treats with attorney Eileen Ligote Dizon
every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time.
Get your weekly dose of legal knowledge, especially on family matters like divorce, child custody, child support, estate planning, probate, and immigration.
Engage in discussions by posting your questions, comments, greetings, or shoutouts.
See you every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. That would be Saturday at 9 a.m. Philippines. Don't miss out.
All right, we're back again, and let's read more comments. Let's see who has more comments here. All right. From Chua Jovelin again. Wow, wait, I missed that. Okay. It says here, Chua Jovelin, hearing two public speakers in a podcast is a breath of fresh air, exchanging healthy conversations and such. I can say that we can surely learn a lot after this episode. Thank you so much for that wonderful comment, Chua. And then, of course, we have Ruby Vergara. Good morning, watching from Pangasinan. And we have a lot more comments here. Chua Jovelin, again, I think majority of Filipino kids in a silver lining can relate with the ice candy cuento, Mrs. MJ. Yes, I know. That's amazing. And then we have Aimee got hello, Texas, watching from San Jose, Batangas. Wow, thank you so much. And Joanne Esteria, good evening, Texas, Mom MJ and Mom Corina. Nice spot. Thank you. Thank you so much. So yes, you know what? I believe so that coming out of poverty is really a challenge. It is. And it doesn't only give us financial constraints, but there are so many things, there are so many challenges that can actually happen if you grow up without so much resources. But growing up in that family, what is the most important lesson that you actually have learned from it? I know our situation is better now, but looking back, what was that moment in your life growing up as a kid from a low income family that actually defined you and what you wanted to do in life? What was the defining moment for you?
Well, even though, like I said, we were low income, we were poor. My mother was an educated person in her country where she was from, and she always instilled the importance in education for us. She says school is very important. You have to go to school, get it, and do something for yourself, for your family, so you don't have to depend on anybody else when you grow up. And so I can remember her, when you asked me what was the most important thing, would be her love for us and encouragement to do better. Even in the poverty we lived in, she showered us with so much love and positive words so we can go on. Each child has their own brain, and each person chooses how they want to pursue things in life, or whether they choose to or not. But our parents, I think their love and support will be completely important. And that's where I may sound like a broken record, where I tell my parents to please be mindful of the words they use towards their children, because they will become that, whether it's true or not. The words are very powerful. And so we must use and say positive words to our children and encourage them. So, yes, I would say definitely a mother's love and encouragement, so you can succeed in life and be better. No matter where we're at, we can do it. You just have to believe it.
Yes, absolutely. And a mother's love is compared to God's love to his church, right? So it is the most unconditional love in this world. because again, it's even compared to God's love to his children or to his church. So yeah, I lost my mom like well, I wasn't young, but she was young when she passed. Like she was only 47 years old. And my
Wow.
yeah, and our father was only 56. So having or coming from a poor family, and we lost our parents, but the biggest thing for us is really, as siblings, no matter what happens, no matter wherever you go in the world, no matter how far the distance among you, especially if you grew up in those very difficult situations, you just love on each other, right? Your siblings, like nobody can break that bond, because you grew up together with those struggles. So what was your biggest inspiration to pursue and become better, like to get out of that situation? What was your biggest inspiration, Karina?
Well, honestly, again, it's going to be a teacher. Um, and like I said, this is where we have to be careful. We are not anybody to tear down someone's dreams.
Mhm.
We're not anybody to say you'll never get that, or that's way out of your reach. We should not do that. Contrarily, we should wish them well and encourage them. I never thought that. I guess I always dreamed of being a teacher, but I wasn't sure that that was really going to happen because number one, I had no idea how I was going to pay for it. Didn't
Mhm.
know about Pell Grants or applying. So a teacher my senior year in high school helped me. And
Mhm.
believe it or not, just I worked at the country club, and I always would hear the parents say, "Oh, my child is going to tech," or "Oh, my child's going
Uh-huh.
to ASU," and I'm, well, where am I going to go? Or am I?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've got to do something. I didn't go very far. I tried, but there was just too much. It was too much for me to be able to go far. But I thought I deserved to have a degree.
Mhm.
And so I had to commute since I lived in Andrews. It was about 45 miles to the next little town, or a city where I could go to college. And nowadays they have college there in the town where I grew up. They have a way that students can go to school there before they
Mhm.
leave to the university. But with that being said, is just listening and to the people, the positive words around me that yes, you've got what it takes. You need to go to school. You can go to school, and showing me how to fill out the paperwork, and those are the things. And I've tried to do that too with other students. If they don't know how, or if they struggle, I'm here to help them, whether it's for a letter of recommendation for a scholarship, or helping them fill out the paperwork for Pell Grants, for whatever they may need. We we need to be, we need to be a fountain. We need to
Mhm.
be a fountain, not a drain. We have to
Yeah.
give and serve others instead of try to just live life taking away from others.
Mhm. So wow, so your biggest inspiration other than your mom who poured out so much love to you, always a teacher when you were 4 years old and when you were like
A
all
fourth
throughout
grader, and then also in high school.
high
Yes.
school. So a teacher had really a big influence in your, like, in your history or in your journey. And it's so funny too. As we converse, things just come to my mind too. Now I can also relate because you know what? My first day of school, I kid you not, like, because in our town, you know how people know each other when you come from a small town. And one of my teachers, I just can't remember her name, but the first thing I heard from my teacher when I went into like first grade, it's like, because even though I came from a very poor family, because my grandparents were black ships, but like Versosa is like very prestigious during my great grandfather's time. So my teacher told me, like as early as I was 7, she said, "Oh, so you're a Versosa? Did you know Iha?" It's like Iha is like, I think you use Iha to write. Did you know Iha that you were one of the richest, like you were the richest people, your family is the richest people in your great grandfather's time. So you will be the one to bring back the name of the Versosas in our town. So that was a big of a responsibility that I was given at an early age. But little did I know that it would, it was hard, just to give you just a bird's eye view. Not only we were challenged financially and everything, and I'm not saying this to discredit my father, because I love him and I owe him whatever I am now. But because of that, because my my grandparents were like black sheeps in their families, they were rich and everything, but since I came from a black sheep family, so we were the poorest of the poor. So my father was an alcoholic. So we were battered kids. My mom was a battered wife. So it was a struggle. But you know what? Yes. So I'm like, but I thank God, despite those situations, look where we are now, Karina. I salute you. Without teachers, people are nobody. Right? Without teachers, people are nobody. So, and now I'm a nurse, even though I had to give up my public speaking passion, I grew up in public speaking, but I did not give it up. God just gave me a different route to take so I can help my family. But look how good He is, because He still gave me the opportunity to pursue it, to live it. And in this moment, I can actually talk like live on Facebook and everything. So see how great He is? Because even though sometimes we have to sacrifice a little bit for the love of family, He knows our desires. He knows. So wow. Now let's talk about your just a snippet, okay? Just an introduction a little bit, and then we continue about it. I mean, when we come back for a break. But let's talk about your signature story when you speak, like when you speak in public. What's your signatures? Just a little bit so we can talk more when we come back after the break.
Okay, what's my signature story? Well, I would say having to stay positive in such scary moments um when we suffer different health issues. I suffer different health issues as well growing up. And in a small town, well, everybody is going to know you and unfortunately your business. But even in all those tough, scary moments, Mother always saying us, there is a God that is with us. There is a Father, even though you don't have a father here in your house, there is a Father that will take care of us. And having to believe that enough, that your surroundings, you're thinking, but where is He? Just having to remind ourselves that He is there. And going for everything you want in life. Even if somebody tells you no, you say yes. I'll share with you in a little bit what I mean by that story. Even when others say no, that you need to say yes. The bottom line is believing in yourself, believe in your children, pray for them that they will do whatever it is you wish for their hearts. But we have to pray now, not
Yes.
later.
Very profound, and we'll talk more about that. We're getting deeper, but we gotta go for another break. Actually, this is our last break, and then when we come back, we will be on our last segment of the show. And let's see you in a bit. Thank you, Corina. I can't wait to hear the rest of the story.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories. From elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits, I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
Yes, we are back, and let's read the last comments, and then we'll continue with our conversation with Karina. So let's see here. All right, Chua Jovelyn. She's very active. Yes, we all surely can relate with mother's unconditional love. Oh, yes, yes. And then Alexis Oliveros, good morning, watching from Pangasinan, and God bless. Well, thank you. God bless you too. And we have Prince Lawrence Escocio Alvendia. Good evening, Texas, watching from Pangasinan. And we have Rose Ann Banyas Alvendia. Hello, Mom MJ and Mom Corina Flores. And we have more. We have Luz Castañeda watching from Tarlac. Good morning, Luz. We have Chua Jovelyn again. I can tell that Mrs. Corina grew up having a great mother by her side. That's why she had such a great character today as a teacher and a mother to her kids. Wow, amazing. And then we have Filomeno Castañeda. Morning and God bless. Good morning to you and God bless as well. Then we have Don Castillo Alvendia. Hello, Ma'am MJ, watching from Pozorubio, Pangasinan. We have Chua Jovelyn. Live, laugh, love educators. Yes. And then we have Chua Jovelyn watching from Manila. Yes. And we have Mary Grace Rocapor. Good evening, Texas, watching from Pangasinan. Yes. It's so amazing. I mean, our lives are really there. I mean, our stories, no matter how big or small you think that your story can make an impact on the world, we all have this role to inspire each other. We all are part of this body of, right, in this universe, to connect to each other and inspire each other. So let's continue hearing your story. I know you just talked about how you say yes in, like, even if you have to say no. Can you expound more on that?
Okay, so I'm going to go back to my high school year with you. Okay, I was a senior in high school, and we're starting a new year. It was August. So I had just spent June and July working at the country club, a full 40 hours. But it was not against the law, but it was not encouraged. It still is not encouraged for a student in high school to work so many hours while going to school all day. So my senior year in high school, I really only had to take 2 classes. An English class, and maybe one other one, maybe like a history or something. Just 2 classes. I already had all the credits, everything else that I needed. But my mentality was, I want to take advantage of these free classes because I wasn't sure if I was going to go to college. So I took public speaking, shorthand. Back then we would write in a special way, shorthand, computer science, and there was something else. I was in a program where students were allowed to be in this program and work outside of the high school. So the the counselor said, I need you to go to each one of your teachers and have them sign off saying that they recommend for you to do this if this is good. And they said, but I give you 6 weeks because you're going to fail. It's too much work. You can't work so much and go to school full time. You don't tell me that I can't, because I'm going to show you that I can. So I did that. I went to every teacher. They signed off. And that year, I ended up being president of the Distributive Education Clubs of America. I was the first student to receive a Rotary Club Award, Student of the Month. I stayed busy and I passed all my classes and I worked full time. When they said that it would be really hard, like, you can't do that, I did. So
Yes.
what I want to say is that we can't let others determine what our future is going to be like. We have that power in ourselves. We have that power. One of my sad moments slash happy moments was I was without a car, and my jobs were all 30 miles or 35 miles away. That would be about
Like
70
40 minutes. Yeah.
miles, about 30 miles to 35 miles away was my job, which would be about 70 kilometers or 60 kilometers, maybe. No, I don't know.
Mhm.
Back and forth. Anyways,
Yeah.
no, that's about 15 kilometers, right? Because a kilometer has like 2 point something miles. But
Yeah.
anyways, make a long story short, um, a friend let me borrow a car.
Mm-hmm.
The windows didn't work. It did not have air. The heat in West Texas is horrible.
Oh, yes.
And I was still happy. I would go to work happy, and people are, why are you so happy? You don't have
Mm-hmm.
a car. You don't have a dad. You guys are struggling. And I said, but I have life, and I have a God who's going to see me through, and I have a chance to work. We're going
Mm-hmm.
to be fine. So it's not easy. I'm not saying that it's easy. It's hard. It's sad. Sometimes we cry. Sometimes we hurt. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, we have to believe, we have to believe that God is going to see us through, and he's
Mm-hmm.
going to show us the way. And if we, there's a secret they say, do not pray to God for something that you've decided you're not going to get,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not going to get it because you've already chosen that. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to pray and ask with faith and see the good things that will come to you, because you
Mm-hmm.
deserve it. Each
Yeah.
and every one of us, you deserve great things. You deserve health, good life, happiness, everything your heart desires. But you have to believe that you deserve it too.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I
You
mean,
have
that
to
is so profound. It's so true because if you don't believe in yourself, who else will, right? Because it comes from within. And I think you've gone all those, the deepest valleys in life, but you still remained focused on God, like, because I believe that God has a plan for each of us. And whatever happens in our life, he's gonna make that happen, and he's gonna see us through. And having that faith is very important, because if we lose faith, we're not gonna do anything. We just think that life is so hard, life is so difficult. But we have to think of it like everybody goes through it. It's not just us. I think what really gets people is like sometimes we tend to like believe, or we have self pity, why is this happening to me? But if we look around us, if we just pass that and look at a bigger perspective, there are more people suffering even
yes,
more difficult situations. And we
yes,
just have to be grateful, as you said. We have to be grateful because you're like, we have life, we're breathing, we wake up every day, and we are healthy. And I work in the hospital, and it's like every day I pray for my patients, because I have the privilege to take care of them and to make their suffering a little bit easier because of the compassion and just the care that we give. And we just have to be grateful because we are not in their situation. We are not the one being taken care of. We are not the one that's suffering. So sometimes we just think of life like, because we have struggles, that we're the only ones struggling. No, a lot of us are struggling. But again, at the end of the day, God has given us the free will to do the right thing, or just be carried away by the struggles that we have and just sulk in the pit that we are in and not do anything about it. Yeah, if we hadn't done that, like I can so relate with you, because we both came from low income families and very dysfunctional families. But I've always clung to God's promise to that whatever he has started in our lives, he will be faithful to complete it, right?
yes, yes,
Yes, yes. So now let me ask you, the biggest, if you would, as a teacher, as a mother, as a speaker, as a servant, if you would give your most important advice about life to your children, to the community, to our viewers, what would that be, Corina?
Wow, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Never stop dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
Never stop dreaming. And I think if we spend time helping others and whatever that means, not necessarily money, just your time, your words of encouragement, be a servant, and then that's going to help you as well to grow more as you're a servant, because in order to be a leader, you must learn to be a servant first from your heart. It
Mm-hmm.
has to be that way. Um, so just believe in yourself, dream big, don't give up on your dreams, and help others to grow so you can grow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, amazing. I mean, that is so good. That is so good. Yes, and again, as you said, never stop dreaming and never stop believing in yourself. Because in this world, I believe that we are all born with something to contribute, that there's something bigger than ourselves, right? That we can do for others. Because as you serve others, you feel like life is actually meaningful. There are people out there that may have all the wealth in the world, but they're not happy, they're not joyful, they don't feel the bliss because they are losing, or they don't have, or they're missing that connection with other people and their connection with a supreme being. I think we are both believers. We believe in God because we know that he is the one who actually, you know got us through whatever struggles we had. And always remember, for any failure, you may consider that as a failure, but it's not, because
Learning.
for yeah, it's a learning. You come out with great lessons. You may not have attained what you wanted to do, but you learned from it. So always remember that too. Wow, that's really amazing, Corina. Now, just your last words, if you have any last advice for our viewers, or last message for our viewers, other than what you just said, never stop dreaming and keep believing in yourself and the others,
Well,
before we close. Yeah.
in all things we do, let's give honor and glory to God in everything you do. That's been my motto. Everything I do is all to the glory of God. He sees us through. He will always see us through. I never doubt it one bit.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. I think we're going to read some more of the last comments before we pick our winner, because I just want to give, again, let's give glory to God. Everybody is saying amen. So, Chua Jovelin again said Mrs. Corina was born leader, after all, with her fighting spirit. And alpha email indeed. Female, sorry, indeed. Wow. You have a fan, Corina. And then we have Christine Oreo. Good morning. Yes, good morning to you as well. And we have Ara Kilman Ungria. All glory belongs to God. Amen to
Amen.
that. Yes. And then we have more comments here. Arara Kilman Ungra, delight yourselves in the Lord, and He will give you
Give
the
you the desire.
desires of your heart. Wow, that's amazing. That's very true. So, Karina, as we do in the show, every end we actually pick a winner, and they receive, just a little token of appreciation for watching our show. And it's not much, but it's something that can give a little bit to our community. So let's see. Wow, we have a lot of entries tonight. So let's see who won. Wow, congratulations, Daisel Miral Shiaton. Congratulations. Yes, we have a winner. And just message me on my messenger on how you can claim your prize. Again, Karina, it has been an honor to have you on the show. I really am so inspired by your story, and I know that our viewers feel the same. I know that there are a lot of people out there that whoever you touch, whoever you share your story with, that you will empower them, you will inspire them, and you just make a difference. So good luck to all your endeavors, and I salute you, Teacher Corina. Thank you so much for your beautiful story. And to all our viewers, thank you all so much for watching again. And next Monday, don't forget, here, Be Bold, Why Not? Live on Facebook, YouTube, stream.lawin.live, and twitch.tv. Again, our show is brought to you by Lawin Media Network. Good evening, everyone. God bless.